Today we're going to be talking about how to play Blastoise as a damage dealer in the jungle. Blastoise is labeled as a defender, but that's not how we roll here. We like to do big damage. And what better way to do big damage than jungling? Let's start off with what items we're going to be taking. The only mandatory item on Blastoise is going to be Focus Band. Focus Band is pretty much necessary on every single character in the game, especially on Blastoise because you're going to be rapid spinning on the entire enemy team, which means you're going to be taking a lot of damage. On top of this, it helps you survive your mediocre early game, and it helps you take fights said early game if the enemy messes up. The next items we're going to be running, you're going to choose two between the three of them. The first item is Muscle Band. Muscle Band procs on Rapid Spin autos, and it makes 6 autos possible in Rapid Spin. Now, you don't always want to be doing 6 autos in Rapid Spin, so it's not always a good thing, but it is possible. The next item you're going to choose between is Buddy Barrier. Buddy Barrier keeps you and an ally alive, and the base HP stat is stupid OP. I don't think I really have to explain Buddy Barrier to you. The last item we're going to choose between is Wise Glasses. Wise Glasses actually adds a lot of damage. Here you can see a chart in which I demonstrate the amount of damage added with and without Wise Glasses, so you can see the damage differential between the two and make an educated decision for yourself. You can also check out my Wise Glasses math video in the description below, which talks about Wise Glasses versus Muscle Band. But in this case, if we're running Wise Glasses, we're probably going to be running both Muscle Band and Wise Glasses, so it's okay to run together. I'll be testing more in stream which item combinations I end up liking, so you guys can check out my stream in the description below. Let's talk Blastoise's skills, starting with this auto attack. His third auto attack will reduce his skill cooldown by a small amount, which is pretty important for his longevity in fights. Remember to keep spamming his auto attacks so you can get your cooldowns faster so you can pump out more damage. At level 1, you're going to be taking Skull Bash of jungling to get over this wall and start attacking the Lillipup. That way we don't have to waste flash or waste time walking around this barrier thing. Skull Bash does a small amount of damage, but it does hit everything in that line, and it also stuns everything in that line. It can be used for mobility, it can go over walls. You can flash at the end as well like that to get damage too. So let's move on to Water Gun. Water Gun does decent damage. It has a knockback / stun effect as well. The closer you are to the target, the further it gets knocked back. So as you can see, when I'm really close, it gets knocked back super far, but when I'm really far, it gets knocked back to very minimal distance. It's pretty good for last hitting. It can disrupt enemy last hits, especially if they're melee. You can knock it out of their way and secure it with an auto attack, like that. If you guys play Lucario, you can treat it similarly to Meteor Mash, where you just walk into melee range and knock it away from the enemy, and then try to last hit it. You can look to flash knockback people, also known as insecting people, like so. To do this, you aim Water Gun in the opposite direction of your target and you end up flashing behind them. And it'll knock them back like so. You have to flash extremely quickly, otherwise it'll fizzle out. At level 5, you're going to be taking Water Spout. Water Spout on its own is pretty weak. It does minimal damage unless they stay in it for the whole duration, which isn't too realistic. It has a minimal slow. If you guys have ever played League of Legends, you can think like an AD Misfortunes Make It Rain is basically what this ability is. This thing on its own is pretty mediocre, but we don't use it for its ability on its own. We use it because of Rapid Spin, which we'll bring up next. So at level 7, you're going to be taking Rapid Spin. Rapid Spin makes you unstoppable for the whole duration. You can auto attack during it for AoE damage. And it resets the cooldown of your R ability. So even if you go Hydro Pump, it'll reset it. So here we go, Water Spout. Boom, it resets it again. And now we can use Water Spout outside of Rapid Spin. If you go Hydro Pump, you can also use Hydro Pump and Rapid Spin, but we go Water Spout in this build because we want to do as much damage as possible. You can auto attack while holding Water Spout for even more damage. So here's Water Spout, and here's me auto attacking too. If you start your auto attack instantly, you can fit in 6 total in the duration. But with that said, you don't always want to do this because sometimes you'll want the CDR from your third auto attack in range form. I should have pointed it out earlier, but your third auto attack will only give you the cooldown reduction if you're in this range form right here and not auto attacking in Rapid Spin. You can cancel the spin early to use ranged autos to get your cooldowns back faster, and the cooldown for Rapid Spin does not start until you cancel it. Rapid Spin is extremely good for farming. You can absolutely decimate mobs with it, like so. And it is obviously a great team fight tool. Now let's talk his Unite move. His Unite move is actually insanely strong. So it does big AoE, does big damage, and it has very good CC. This can be used to last hit secure objectives. This can be used to secure entire areas like Zapdos. And on top of this, you can flash coverage to hit multiple areas. So here you can see I'm not in range of that Crawdaunt, I think it's called. So a Unite move, look at that, I hit both of them. Now we're going to be going over one of my games so you guys can see my gameplay. I'm going to be giving you guys random tips and tricks as the gameplay plays on the screen as well, if there is dead time, so keep that in mind too. So we start up by leveling Skull Bash to get over the wall so we don't use our eject button, and then we kill the Lillipup. Move on to the blue buff, which we can preemptive water gun, but we can ignore me missing those because I suck. And then from here, we just decide where we want to path to. In this case, I wanted to path towards bot lane instead of ganking my Froakie Ralts top lane, because they're not going to help me too much. So I decided to kill the crab first and then move downwards. As you can see, Squirtle actually has a pretty decent clear. I can kill the jungle relatively quickly, faster than something like a Gengar can, clearing at a 912. And then I have the ability to move down and help influence the map. These ganks are actually pretty decent early game. Skull Bash being a stun and mobility is pretty strong, and then Water Gun being able to be used to insect people is pretty good too. Unfortunately, we don't end up being able to secure the kill here, but that's fine. In a second, you guys are going to see where I get frustrated slightly, because we could have killed both these guys, but my Blissey is AFKing in a bush, so that's tragic. I left this clip in so you guys could see how much damage he does to him on his own. Anyway, here I see them overextending top lane, so I start to move over, and right here you can really see the power of Wartortle. So once I get my Rapid Spin plus Water Spout, you can see me absolutely evaporate Lucario and Wigglytuff, two of the strongest characters, or two of the most tanky characters in the game rather. From here I'm level 8, so I'm thinking to myself, I want to ding level 9 before the Dreadnought, so I end up staying top for the bees, we take the bees, and then you won't be seeing it, but I'll be taking the crabs down mid as well to try and ding 9 as soon as possible. This way I can ensure I'm level 9 before the fight, and then we can go in. Here you can see I'm level 9, so now I have my ult. So once I get my ult, I'm looking to play extremely aggressively. My ult does a lot of CC and a lot of damage, and I can zone entire areas of the map and decimate entire teams. A side note here, you can see my water spell cancelled. That's because I used B to use my auto attacks in Rapid Spin instead of A. B is an auto attack, but it is also the cancel button. So you have to use A during Rapid Spin, otherwise it cancels your Rapid Spin. It's a stupid mechanic, but unfortunate at that. I left this part in so you guys can see even people like me make mistakes. I overextended there and I died for it, but hopefully my team could clean up. So this is post that fight. My ult is on cooldown right now, and I thought they would be taking Dreadnought, but they weren't. So I decided it was a good idea for me to farm my ult up because my ult cooldown is extremely low, rivaling the likes of Charizard himself. So you can see I'm really close to my ult, it's at 93% even though I just used it not even that long ago, and I'm going to move down to use my ult to go influence the fight again. I'm very strong at this point in the game. I have a lot of AoE damage and I can absolutely decimate a team fight. Here you can see I use my ult plus eject button combo again, and I just absolutely shred through the entire enemy team even though Wigglytuff used his ultimate. And then here we just move down to go secure the Dreadnought. Wigglytuff decides it's a good idea to die for no reason, so he just comes and gives us free kills. The Lucario is not able to contest, their Blastoise isn't able to contest, and their Snorlax is going to come die as well very shortly. We just clean up this fight, and then we go to influence other parts of the map. We clear our jungle, we get our ult, and then we notice that they're overextending top. They go for the Rotom and they proceed to try to go on our goal. So we notice them grouped here, we use all our AoE damage, Rapid Spin plus Water Spell plus our auto attacks, and we decimate them. Fortunately, the other two end up getting away. This is another situation where the enemy team ends up overextending. I noticed them pushing past the Dreadnought, even though the Dreadnought should be their objective, ulting and whatnot as well. So I end up positioning towards where they're going to be going, knowing that I have a lot of damage and I can absolutely destroy them with my ult. And I just decimate their whole team. You can see here, I destroy their Blastoise extremely hard, and their Lucario is way too timid to go in on me because he knows he's going to die as well. Here, you can see even without my ult, I still do a lot of damage. I zone their entire team right now, killing 2 of them, forcing the rest of them back, and then we go back to go farm our ults before the Zapdos spawns. So even if the Zapdos was trying to be taken by the enemy team here. I matched my ult with Lucario and Wiggly's ult, so it would have been a worthwhile trade for me to use my ult. That being said, because my ult has an extremely low cooldown and the enemy team has not started the Zapdos, I have the ability to go power farm my ult as soon as possible. As you can see, I used it about 1 minute ago and it's already at 80%. Here we noticed them aggressing onto our team, so we try to help out our Gardevoir by just killing them with our massive amounts of damage. Our ult is about to come back up, so we'll be able to destroy their team if they play into us with it. Here you can see me decimating Lucario, one of the tankiest characters in the game, and you can also see me utilizing the move speed increase from Water Spout in order to catch him. I was going to go dunk bot, but once the Snorlax was there, I had no reason to stay as I couldn't dunk on him, so I just went to go influence the fight even more. Pro tip, you can flash during Rapid Spin while spouting as well. Here I know I have my focus band up still, so I know I can still play aggressively rather than playing timidly. So I utilize the focus band healing to help keep me safe, and then I go to pressure their Gardevoir to make sure that they can't take the Zapdos. Once we've taken the Zapdos, we know this game is pretty much over. There's nothing they can do anymore. So we just go to score, and that's pretty much going to be it. I'll be streaming Blastoise gameplay all day on my Twitch, so you guys can go check that out in the description below. Leave a comment if there's videos you guys want to see in the future, and that's it for this. See you guys next time.